Good afternoon, guys. We are back with another video, and this is just a pretty quick video on how I made 2.4K on this trade this morning during New York session. So just to break it down, and for context, this is the first trade I've taken all week, and today is Thursday, and I haven't traded since last week. Why? Because if you trade futures, you probably know that price action has been absolutely terrible. We're seeing basically barcodes on the screen, a lot of consolidation, not a lot of clean delivery to specific price targets, right? So that is pretty much why this is the first and probably only trade I'll take this week, because again, tomorrow is Friday, and Fridays tend to have pretty wacky price action, and I don't really want to deal with that, especially since I caught a pretty good day on this evaluation. As you can see, this is the day's profit and loss. So we are up $2,400 right now. So I feel like one of the main reasons I felt so confident in taking this trade is because I know what my setup looks like, and I have no mistake on really what I'm looking for. So for example, we are going to go back to the weekly time frame, and as you can see, obviously right now we are at all-time highs. But even before that, we can kind of see that price was dancing around these all-time highs level. So the process is the same each time. Whenever I trade, I do nothing different aside from determining how much I'm going to risk per trade. So this morning, I just marked out my key levels. This was a high time frame low. This was a high time frame high on the 4-hour. So I knew that these were potential strong points of liquidity. Same thing on the 1-hour. These points didn't change. But the main thing really here is when it comes down to my entry, right? Because I guess you're saying, okay, well, off of kind of pre-market and sort of into market open, we do see a strong down move here to the downside, and then we kind of shoot up here and start creating some higher highs and higher lows. My overall bias was bullish from the start anyway. Why? Because A, we're at all-time highs. B, I check this website called Tradingster, and it basically tells me what the institutional players are doing. So if we check it for Nasdaq, we are going to see that so 3.3 thousand. So this is telling us the, I guess, number of traders who are switching their intentions from being bearish on the market to being bullish on the market, right? So we see a large change of over 3,000 traders who believe the market is going to go up. So this was another confluence that I sometimes use, especially because I'm not strictly a technical trader. I trade fundamentals as well, and this is a large part of fundamentals, obviously knowing what the macroeconomic picture looks like, and this is sort of another way I do that. So we see that 81K is going long, 50,000 is going short. So this tells me, okay, the buyers are generally in control of the market, as we were clearly able to see here. Now, as far as the technicals on my entry, it was very simple, classic continuation trade. I see a large 5-minute fair value gap appear, and this is a 95-point gap. Guys, 9 times out of 10, this is going to hold. And then I see a displacement candle after this fair value gap has been formed. Well, not really after, because this candle I entered off of is the last candle of the fair value gap. But I was pretty confident in taking that trade simply because of the previous confluences that I told you guys about beforehand. And on top of that, we did have a point of liquidity that I was thinking that, okay, this is above my desired take profit, so this should be a pretty safe trade to take. And it ended up being exactly as I said. And it's a pretty simple trade. This is a 1-to-1, and this is what won me $2,400 on this top step evaluation. Now, what I really want to talk about is the fact that you don't have to trade a lot to make a lot of money. It's kind of like the most messed up thing in the world, because it's a paradox, right? Because in every other aspect of life, it's like the more work you do and the more hours you put into something, that's generally going to result in better results. But with trading, that's not necessarily true. You know, you have person or trader A and trader B. Trader A spends all of his time on the charts just looking for any and all setup that he thinks is going to work. And trader B just sits and waits until he sees his setup. And then when it appears, he strikes and he risks heavy because he knows that there is a high probability of that trade going his way. And who do you think is doing more work, trader A or trader B? I would argue saying that trader B is doing more work, more effective and efficient work than trader A, because he knows exactly what he's looking for and he's not just chasing after the wind, basically. So yeah, very simple trade, made a cool little 2,000, and that's really it. You know, this is a very simple trade. Like, again, any strategy works. It's really about your attitude. If you have the attitude of, if losses are inevitable, that's fine. It's just the cost of doing business as a trader, and you don't have to trade all the time to make money. And this is something that I'm kind of growing into realizing and internalizing more. And yeah, this is really it. If you guys have any questions about this trade, questions about risking, risk management, funded accounts, any of that, just drop it in the comments and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.